All right, Mason Parris here in Colorado Springs. You're gearing up for another tournament coming up. We'll talk about that, but what's life been like for you? It's been maybe a month since the Worlds. You had a great tournament out there, getting that medal. But what's it been for you here in the last month or so?
Yeah, it's been really good. Just I've really been enjoying this transition for me being just a freestyle wrestler, and now not having to worry about school, and just really focusing on my development as a wrestler has been so awesome. And I've really just been enjoying all the places I've been able to travel for it, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience, and bringing home a world medal was really awesome for me, and I got a lot of praise for that, and it definitely gave me a lot of confidence in my wrestling, and it just made me want to compete even more.
Thinking back on your tournament now, you've had some time to I'm sure play it through in your head. Reflect on different situations here and there, on the mat, off the mat. What do you take away from that event? Your first time going through a senior worlds. What's your perspective on the tournament?
Yeah, I took away that I'm just as good as any of these other guys, and I truly believe that I can be the next champion, the next world champion, the next Olympic champion, and I know that I'm right there with those guys. And it was my first time competing on the world stage like that in a world championship, but I thought I wrestled really well, and I know I made some mistakes, and I still felt like I didn't wrestle my best, but that just gives me so much more confidence in myself and really helps propel me into the Olympics.
And you've got your hands on those best guys. I mean, that was one of the good things about your draw, I think, is you wrestled Zare before. You wrestled him in the Junior World Finals.
Mm-hmm.
You got your hands on Petrashvili. Those guys, all the best guys, you have had a chance to wrestle now. In your mind, what do you need to do or work on or dial in on to just get over that hump and get the gold, right? Go from bronze to gold. Because right there, right, razor thin margin.
Yeah. I know that I'm in really good shape, and I don't think I need to change anything physically. It's just a lot of mental stuff for me, and just some decision making stuff, and just fine tuning a lot of little things in my wrestling that will really help me get over that hump. And I think I can dominate those guys, and if I keep learning, keep improving, and finally getting a feel on a lot of those guys, just like I said, gave me a lot of confidence that I'm right there with those guys.
So the team aspect of it, and you were obviously a big part of this, winning the team title, which is a really cool thing. We've only done it 5 times in our history. We've done it back-to-back years, but just this team in particular, what did you see from your perspective? How did this team achieve such a high level? What was it about this group of individuals that worked?
Yeah, it was so awesome being on the world team with every single guy on the team. Every single guy was super driven, all for the same goal, to be a world champion. And I think that this was one of the best U.S. teams we've ever had, and it was just a really good experience to be around a bunch of guys that are all super driven and at the top of wrestling. And it was just an amazing experience for me to be able to learn from a lot of those guys, and see how they react in different circumstances on the mat and off the mat.
And you haven't been on the senior level for too long at this point, but why do you think we are having so much success on the world stage in men's freestyle? What do you think is, like I said, you're pretty fresh into it from the senior level perspective, but you've been around for a long time, at junior level, and you won world titles, so you know the process a little bit. What is it that's making it work?
Yeah, I think it takes everyone, just the entire wrestling community. Everyone's really bought in, and the expectation for us is that we're going to bring back gold medals, and we're going to be those guys at the top. And we have such depth on the U.S. team, and I think a lot of our guys can medal. All of our top guys at each weight can bring back a world medal. So it's awesome, and we have a lot of coaches that are really devoted to us being world champions, Olympic champions, and just being devoted to us to for us, we have a lot of coaches, we have a lot of sponsors, a lot of different types of people that really pour a lot into us to make sure that we're wrestling to our best.
In your case, you had a unique path to the World Championships that was different from the other 9 guys on the team. So given that, how is it different for you that you were called up from the number 2 position? Probably knew a little bit beforehand, but you had a few weeks to really know you're the guy, right? And to prepare to compete at this tournament. What's your perspective on how you have to prepare, being that you're the next man up, right? If the call comes.
Yeah, it was a really interesting experience for me. Having my goal out of my reach, that I couldn't wrestle at the World Championship, but finding out later that there's still a chance that I can wrestle, and I did everything I could to make sure that I was in shape and I was ready to compete. And then once I finally got that call, it wasn't that big of a deal for me. I've been training just as hard as I would have been if I was already on the world team, and I think it was honestly good for me because I didn't have to stress or worry about the World Championships for a long time. It's just I had to just, once I got that call, I just knew I had to lock down, and it just gave me a short span to just really focus on my wrestling and not overthink things too much.
So when you're wrestling at your best, how do you see yourself operating? What is it that you need to be, whether on the mental side, the physical side, how you're feeling? You probably don't have to worry about a weight cut too much, but what makes you operate at full capacity in your mind?
Yeah, I think I just operate my best when I'm reacting completely on my instincts, and just all the training that I've done, that that stuff just comes naturally to me, and I'm just able to wrestle how I know I am. And I think when I start thinking about stuff too much is when I start to hurt a little bit. But when I'm just out there not thinking, just using my instincts is when I'm wrestling my best.
So one unique thing about winning back-to-back world titles as a team, just going back to that for a second, 6 of the team members were different this year compared to last year. Same results though, right? In terms of medals, in terms of winning the team title. How does that happen? I mean, from your perspective, being a young guy on the team, compared to some of these other guys, Snyder and Taylor, have done it for a while. Why do you think you're able to have that sustained success even with the turnover?
Yeah, it says how much depth we have in the United States with every single wrestler. Like I said, could be a world medalist. Every wrestler in the top could be a world medalist. So it just everything that we have at our disposal as wrestlers here in the United States, that a lot of us take for granted, is just so amazing that we're able to really reach our full potential here. And I think we have leaders like those guys that are able to point us in the right direction and really inspire me and the younger guys that we can be world champions too.
Is there anything that sticks out to you from Snyder, Taylor, Dake, Zane? I think we're the 4 returners, but those guys who have won the Olympic gold medals, the world titles, being around them, is there anything that you took away from those moments?
Yeah, I can just tell how mentally strong all of those guys are and how confident they are in themselves, and they remain calm the entire tournament, and no matter what happened with them. So it was really cool. I've looked up to those guys for a really long time, and just to be able to be on a team with those guys was really cool for me, because I've been watching those guys since I was really young, and just having the opportunity of being on a team with them and wrestling with them and competing on the same team as them was just such an amazing experience.
You mentioned depth. Depth in your weight class stateside is also, it's crazy, right? You got Gable, the Olympic champ. You got you now, junior champ, world medalist. Hendrickson just won a U23 title like 2 days ago. I mean, the weight class is really deep. Even not mentioning those guys, right? How does having a deep domestic weight class help you in terms of reaching your goals?
Yeah, just being able to have that type of competition with each other is just so awesome. I've used a lot of those guys to, really push myself and improve, my own wrestling. And, I think it's great that we're all, really good wrestlers that can really push ourselves to make ourselves, a lot better. And, making the world team, the Olympic team is, really hard in the United States. So, you know, once we make that team, it's tough, but we once we make that team, we it gives me and a lot of these other guys a lot of confidence that we're the best in the world, and we can bring home medals and gold medals.
Do you feel different as a wrestler or competitor now than you did a month or two ago, like before the World Championships? Is anything different for you?
Yeah, I definitely do feel different, and just everything I've taken away from the World Championships is given me just so much confidence in myself and my wrestling. And it was just an amazing experience for me to be able to go on that stage and wrestle the best guys. And I think that was just something huge for me that's really gonna propel my career way forward.
Let's talk about college a little bit. So, last year you finished off at Michigan with your NCAA title, Hodge Trophy. You're the most dominant guy in the sport of NCAA wrestling. Talk to me about your journey a little bit there. What is it about that school, that program, those coaches that helped you develop? Having watched you come out of high school, I think a lot of people thought you were really like raw talent with a lot of potential, because you weren't like full-time wrestling all the time, right? And then when you transition to college, wow, this guy could be amazing. What was it about Michigan that got you from point A to point B where you are now?
Yeah, the University of Michigan really gave me everything that I needed really to reach my full potential in wrestling. Coming from, the coaches, the facilities, my teammates, I think we have some of the best partners out there. And, I think it was just an amazing circumstance for me. And, Michigan just worked perfectly for me and my training and everything. And, that just, really helped me in my career. And, being able to learn from such amazing coaches, such as Sean and KJ and Torella and Bolliard and Sergey, is just so awesome for me to be able to have those coaches and learn. I really learn a lot from them. And college season, it's a grind out there. I wrestled 33 matches last year, and I've been competing a lot since then, and I really haven't taken much of a break. But I love competing and everything. So I just used my college finish as really a confidence builder for myself to propel myself onto the world for freestyle stage.
From college, what match is your favorite? Obviously you have a lot to choose from, right? But what match do you think back on the most? One way or another, however you think about it, what's your favorite?
Yeah. I think, my favorite match was Big Tens this year. I got to close out Big Tens, heavyweight final, wrestling Kirk Vliet, who beat me last year. He's a great competitor against me, and, having a really close match with him. And then, me finally, I think it was, my third time in the Big Ten finals. So for me finally to, break through that barrier and get that Big Ten title, in Ann Arbor in front of, all my Michigan fans was, just a huge moment for me, and just, gave me a bunch of confidence coming into the NCAA tournament that, I was going to be the NCAA champion.
How's the squad going to look this year?
They'll be really good this year. We're really solid in a lot of weights, and, it's awesome, getting, guys from around the country that, want to come to Michigan, want to transfer there, because, we got a really good thing going there. And, I don't know why you wouldn't want to come up to Michigan, because we got amazing coaches and teammates, and our RTC club I think is one of the best in the country. Especially for me, I get to wrestle so many great bigger dudes and heavier weights. So it's been awesome for me, and it's just perfect fit for me.
Now that you're able to transition to freestyle full time, how do you anticipate yourself changing or evolving, or is anything going to change for you? I mean, I'm sure some things will be different now that you can really dial in.
Yeah, I still think of myself really as a really raw wrestler, and I still think I haven't really been close to reaching my full potential in wrestling, and I never really wrestled a bunch of freestyle because I was doing 3 sports, so just being able for me to just dial in on freestyle and coming to the Olympic Training Center to train and learn from a lot of these great coaches and guys and teammates is just huge for me, and I think I'm gonna really start dialing in my technique, perfecting a lot of the stuff that I'm good at, and improving on the small things, and I think that's gonna make me a dominant wrestler on the freestyle stage.
So you said you haven't had a lot of breaks recently. You hop on a plane here pretty soon to go to Chile. Pan American Games. Why do you want to compete in that? What makes that event stand out? And, you're competing a month after the World Championships, which most people take a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
But for you, you're diving right back in. Why?
Yeah, I just love competing. It's so much fun, and you're only young for so long, so I might as well compete in as much as I can, and it's not every day I get amazing opportunities to go down to countries like Chile and compete for the United States, and I love just being able to represent the United States of America, and just going down there, and just competitions like that is what's going to make me better and help me keep improving my wrestling, and it just helps me learn so much about myself, and I can use all of these matches to propel myself for the Olympics.
Speaking of that, Olympic year is here. When you think about the Olympics, what comes to mind? What feelings do you get? What thoughts do you get? What memories do you get? Just explain to me how big of a deal the Olympics are for you as someone who's trying to get there and win an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal for me. I can barely really put it into words. How much being on making the Olympic team and wrestling for the United States means to me, and it's definitely been a dream that I've had since I was a little kid, and now it's just right here and really close, and right within my grasp of making that Olympic team, and my ultimate goal is to be an Olympic champion, win that gold medal for the United States. So it's amazing that I get this kind of opportunity to I get this kind of chance and opportunity to make the Olympic team. So I'm super excited, and I'm going to do everything I can in everything I can possible to make that team and get that gold.
Does it give you an edge now going into the Olympic year that you just did what you did at the World Championships? You got the experience, you got the medal, and now, you're right there. You're a top contender again, not just to make the team, but to win an Olympic medal. Do you have an edge about you now because of that?
Yeah, I definitely think it gives me a big edge. Coming off of a World Championship, and it just that really helped me out a lot in that World Championships. Just helped give me so much confidence in myself, and that I can be that guy. I can be that the Olympic champion, and I do really think it gives me an edge, and it's just really something great for me to be able to build on coming into this Olympic year.
Last thing for you, wrestling is it's not an easy sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can be challenging at times. What exactly about the sport do you love? What do you enjoy the most about stepping on the mat?
Yeah, I love the constant challenges that I get, every single day. It's just I'm pushing myself to my limits every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. So, it's awesome, and wrestling has really helped me, understand myself and really learn a lot about myself as a person, and how I feel, and yeah, it's been life-changing for me, just being able to be a wrestler, and it's taught me so many life lessons and everything. So it's been an amazing experience for me, and I can't wait to keep competing for the United States and just keep building on everything that I've done so far.